you know, give these guys an idea of kind of what your experience has been and what draws you to More4. And maybe we could even start with how you and I met.
Okay.
And your impression of what you've seen so far with what we plan on doing.
Okay. Well, I guess I've been battling metastatic breast cancer since the January 2020. And I've always been a person who wanted to help others and reach out to others, but I just never really had a necessary focused calling, right? So when I was diagnosed with cancer, I guess I kind of found my calling. I decided I wanted to help people. So, but through my treatments and I came up with this idea to start a nonprofit that and I told Mary that it's almost like she took my playbook and started a nonprofit that I really wanted to do. And I got sick and I didn't have the support around me, and I just didn't have the resources available to pursue it. And so I kind of reclused myself, and I didn't reach out to a support group or anything until maybe a week ago, I guess. And within the first couple of days of reaching out, Mary reached out to me because I reached out. I'm in need. I'm like losing my Medicaid, and I don't have a car, and but it's not about what my needs that needed to be fulfilled, but more that Mary reached out to me and introduced me to the More4 organization, and watched like 98% of the video, and I was in tears just because it's everything that is missing in the metastatic cancer community. And it's just kind of like I'm like, I don't know, watching my own dream be fulfilled to like help others. And it's kindred spirits. Mary and I met corporate world background, but
one of the things that struck me, and I mentioned to these guys that I think our first phone call was like 5 hours.
It was.
But one of the things that struck me is how long you've been going it alone, and that is, and I'm talking since your diagnosis. And I think that of all the things that More4 is meant to be, it is that place people find belonging and connection and realize that they're not alone in, what they're living with illness wise, but just in life in general. Right.
Right. Like I said to you yesterday, I didn't realize how negatively that it impacted me until I met you, until you and I started talking, and I realized that for the first time in maybe 4 years, like I actually have, I feel like I'm not failing as a human, just, I felt, I don't know, disconnected from my world. It just happened overnight, so yeah, I mean, I feel like an actual human again. It's incredible, and I want to be a part of making that happen for other people too. So
as you're saying all of this, and by the way, I'm not sure if you are aware, we are recording this, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
But I'm realizing as you're saying all of this that this is the kind of thing about helping people understand why this matters, right? I could very easily take this snippet of what we just talked about and put it up as a, an introduction to who More4 is and the people that we have involved in this, and why we needed to create the program, and how the community will build this, right? It's
absolutely. If you don't mind the dog being in it.
Not at all. It makes it even better.
Got this guy right here.
Cameo's gonna pull out her iguana.
No,